I'm Theresa. Welcome to my channel. I talk about minimalism and frugality, and I'm a former trauma therapist, a divorcee, and mom of two. I do have a partner that I live with currently and two cats and a guppy pond. Lots of responsibility, and I'm supporting myself. I also have aging parents that don't live near me that I do try my best to take care of, although they are still caring for themselves mostly. I have a brother. And that's just a little bit about me. I grew up in Austin, Texas in a nuclear family, and we had a lot of stuff. It was the 80s and the 90s. If you grew up in this era, it was an abundant time. There was that recession in '88. My mom graduated law school and did have trouble getting a job. She did become a lawyer, which she hated. There's a bit of a theme there. I'm no longer a trauma therapist. And my bandwidth for it was not enough. The average burnout time for a therapist of any kind is about 5 years. And I lasted about 6, and I sometimes think it was a year too long. I started a business with my ex-husband that he did buy me out of, or is still in the process of buying me out of. But I got into minimalism starting in 2008. And it started with a seminar, and the person I was dating at the time who introduced me to the book Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez, and it was about retiring early no matter your profession and increasing your savings rate and living on less than you make and not allowing lifestyle creep to come into your life until you reach this magic investment number where you don't have to work and your investments actually pay for your lifestyle. Now, then the FIRE movement came along, I don't know, a decade later. Maybe it's always been around, but it formalized as the FIRE movement. I don't know who exactly coined that term, sorry. But financial independence, retire early. In 2008, when I started reading Your Money, Your Life, I was in graduate school on student loans. And I did have some grants. I was an older student. I started back at school around 24. I had gone for a year when I was 19 and just didn't think it was for me. I'm also in recovery. There was that whole rehab part in the middle. I had 12 Fs. I had a 0.9 GPA when I got sober, graduated cum laude, so 3.6. I did fine. Turns out it was the partying. And I discovered the library is a beautiful place. I looked around and I thought, is this how people do this? Yeah, that's how they do it. So this is a video about how all of your stuff is trash at some point. Everything I own will go back from whence it came when I am gone. It is all on loan, as Ram Dass would say. These are all the things that I personally, this little human, have accumulated into my little shell. These are my precious possessions. And I have them because at some point I thought owning them would make me happier. Like the weight set that I have that's gathering dust out on our porch. I do have a couple of weights that I keep inside and do use regularly while I'm watching YouTube. I recently canceled my gym membership. In this economy, 25 bucks a month, I was using it maybe once a week. It just wasn't worth it to me. I don't like going to the gym. I would rather walk from my house, save the gas and the time, take a shower with my own stuff, not have to have a bag with clothes. I don't enjoy lifting weights in a big weight room with a bunch of people and competing for machines when I know what to do here at home with the weight sets and the bench that I do have. At home, right here. Don't have to go anywhere, don't have to pay anything. Already paid for the thing, right? So I did quit that, but I really want to emphasize the point today that all of our stuff is trash. This shirt, this chair I'm sitting in, this camera that I'm filming with, my wonderful computer that I love, it's all garbage in the future. Hopefully not the camera, hopefully not the computer, thank you, appreciate you. I watch a lot of like Robin Greenfield and some other creators who are more aesthetic minimalists. I remember hearing this saying on a video once, if someone were to take all of your things or a fire were to burn down all of your things, not your animals and yourself and your family included, would you feel relieved or would you feel sad? I almost always think I would feel relieved without the burden of my things. I am tired of doing laundry. I am tired of doing dishes. I am tired of wiping countertops and wooden things that gather dust. There is beauty in not having them. And There is a joy living without, even if there are little pangs of living without. Sometimes the joy of not having and not caring for the thing is greater. I became a minimalist because I know a lot of people with money and I know a lot of people without money, and neither camp seemed happier or worse mental health wise because of the amount of money that they had. And I started following spiritual creators that started saying these things that I had suspicions of. I built a very successful business with my ex and was stressed out all the time. Being with someone where finances was the primary focus of life, I started to feel like there has to be more because we did everything right. We had the marriage and the kids and the houses and the business and the 2 RVs, and yet we felt trapped. The golden handcuffs, right? I did see a creator talk about doom and gloom and these economic times that we're currently living in. Yes, everything is more expensive. But when you are a minimalist, I think there's a security there. I live in a reasonable sized home and I'm going to be downsizing as soon as I can once we move out of here. I have been optimizing recently, especially the last 6-7 months, for frugality because I spent a couple of years during my separation overspending, too many clothes, too many knickknacks, trying to go more cottage core minimalist, if that's a thing. It was just, there was too much. The things were not making me happy. They were not fixing what was going on with me. And I'm okay that I made those mistakes. I'm okay that the roller coaster of the minimalism journey has been little stuff, a lot of stuff, little stuff, a lot of stuff, you know, like quieter as the years have gone on since 2008 when I read that first book. And I do know that though the savings rate today is not as good as it was in 2020, it is still possible. And I think too, because I am a lover of nature and running and the ocean, surfing, volleyball, crafts with my kids, I think because the things I enjoy the most don't cost a lot of money, I'm okay. Like I can live in an off-grid cabin in the woods and be very happy. I know that the modern things that I have are luxuries. I do want to talk about technology because I love hot water and electricity. I want to live in a world with these things. And so I understand that innately that makes everything a little more expensive. There are grids to keep up with. I would still be okay if we didn't have it. I have discovered recently through the process of divorce and separation that finding true authentic community and finding the people in alignment with you is very important, especially as a single mom with little kids who doesn't live near family. Saving money, I drive a Prius. I shop the sales at the grocery store. I like to be health conscious. If it's beef, chicken, or turkey that week, it's okay. I try to get the leanest cuts that I can. I have enjoyment around the seek and the hunt of the grocery store savings. That's still within me. So I use that there. I did start off this year with a low buy, and I did decide to sort of loosen those parameters. I was following some other creators. I was being influenced, right? Some of it fit with me and some of it didn't. Frugality and minimalism are meant to set us free and not to constrict us or be rigid. What works for some people doesn't work for other people. I know creators who've done no buys for years and years and reported back, and I think that is so wonderful. I recently opted to not renew my Amazon subscription, which ends on the 19th of this month. And I'm going to try buying from the companies. I do live in Hawaii. Most people here have Prime because the shipping is exorbitant. So I don't know that I'll stick to that. I have given myself permission to get the year-long membership if it proves that it's not any cheaper. I'm only buying food items on Amazon that are currently cheaper than anywhere else on the island, whether that be Costco, Whole Foods, Safeway. So yeah, that's something I'm doing, saving money. I do gamify shopping and grocery shopping. I do wait for apples to go on sale. I do buy every other week at Costco. I go straight to the back when I get to Costco. I know that the only way to make a Costco membership viable and actually to save money is to skip over all the middle section and the appliances and the stuff up front that they put in their shampoos. There are certain things I like to have in bulk and certain things I don't. I'm not against having bulk toilet paper or paper towels. I'm a minimalist, but I'm also extremely practical. I have a big enough home to store things in. Most of our storage is empty in the house, so it's easy to store extra toilet paper. Not a big deal. Things that I am doing this month as a semi-retired, I say semi because I have real estate that I manage. It is not passive. I don't know that there's a whole lot of passive income, except maybe just like dividend stocks. If you had millions and millions of dollars in dividend stocks, I guess that would be truly passive. I hope to be there someday. I like real estate because in the debate between real estate versus investing in the stock market, yes, technically the market is easier and more liquid per se, but that's also a disadvantage if you are an emotional investor, if you're not investing for the long term. And I don't try to time the market. I would like to buy and hold for 30 years. I'm starting a new chapter. I got accepted into a seed saving program funded by a grant here on Oahu. So I will be going to hopefully a farm day on Saturday, but we are having our second round of storms on Oahu. Good vibes are always welcome here. I'm going to be starting a seed saving program, which may get postponed a week. I started my sewing classes too, and I'm very excited. So far, it's been really fun. And I'm glad to learn the basics of the sewing machine. I could turn it into a 12-week course and learn how to make shorts and pants and shirts. I've always wanted to know how to do that. I may continue on if I can. I think it's really exciting to learn these skills. I will gladly pay $250 to be in a class like that. That is not a waste of my money. That is actually the best $250 I feel like I could ever spend. And getting invited to be in the seed saving program, I worked on a farm in Texas in graduate school, and I volunteered 2 days a week, and I would have been there every day if I could. And right before we moved to Florida, I was just about to learn how to drive the tractor, and it really almost gets me choked up that I missed out on that opportunity because I loved being on a community-based farm with like-minded, down-to-earth, grounded people, digging my hands in the dirt and seeing the literal fruits of my labor with this group of people. We would sit around and play music and talk story and eat good food. I was connected and community-oriented, and I love that. I have this dream of my second investment property being an RV park that I will try to cash flow, hire a manager for a few years till my kids are old enough, and then I would move there and turn it into a tiny house farming community, hopefully on the West Coast, Texas, Arizona. That's the dream, man. I'm gonna do it. But I would love to parlay my volunteer work here into a regular volunteer position or eventually a paid position. I will assist any farm with any single thing. I've got the time. I want to be there. I would love to film there. I would love to promote. That's the kind of social media I want to promote. Film school comes to me here and there. It's been on my heart. I would love to learn documentary style filmmaking and storytelling. I have this amazing camera and this amazing computer, and I don't really know what I'm doing. And I have the desire. I am not willing to pay 30 to 50 grand for a degree on that, but I would pay someone to teach me. Or maybe I just want to hire an amazing editor. Maybe I want to hire a videographer and learn some of the basics and maybe just be the creator. So I'm open to all of the things. But I just want to say that I am frugal because I actually think my life is better when I stop spending on trash. I just decluttered and did my spring cleaning yesterday because we are going to be moving in the summer. I went around the house with trash bags and I said, do I want to move this? Do I want to put this in a box and move this? 9 trash bags later, the answer being no. Toys, clothes, extra pairs of running shoes, exercise equipment, pots, pans, lids, papers that I had to finally go through and see that I don't need anymore. So many things that don't really hold value. Even the photos on the wall, I'm not sure about. We have a dining room table that's way too big. I'm sure there are some crafts that could be donated. Yeah, it's never done. There's always more. My heart goes out to anyone who is on their minimalism or frugality journey. I was a former shopaholic and I still have tendencies. My Achilles heel is like high quality exercise stuff, being in Hawaii, walking, running, surfing, playing volleyball all the time, having easy, soft, comfortable, durable workout gear. I bought some things today. I'm not gonna lie. I can afford them. They are beautiful and I love them. They're exactly what I want. I did get some things on sale. I paid full price for other things. I don't go based on sale. I ask myself, would I buy this if it was full price? My basil in my garden is still thriving. This one flowered, so I brought it aside. It smells amazing. And I planted some new ones running behind. I am going to be learning how to grow corn and squash pretty soon with my seed saving program. I wish I could grow it here at my condo, but I'm gonna be taking these to the volunteer farm, so hopefully having a little spot to put them. If you like this kind of content, if you're into frugality and minimalism, if you want to support a small creator, please consider liking and subscribing. It's how I can continue to make this free and fun. I would love to monetize within a year. I think we're up to like 230 subscribers. So thank you if you're here. My heart goes out to all those during any kind of weather. Spring, I'm ready. Okay, bye and thank you.